Okay, let's take a look at this problem. We got y equals negative 4x plus 2. So I'm going to get my pen to work. There we go. Negative 4x plus 2. Now it indicates to graph this by plotting points. I'm going to show you a different way. You could definitely plot points if you wanted to. I'm going to use a slope-intercept form. Now, slope-intercept form says if you got y by itself, then your numbers before your x, this negative 4, is going to be your slope. So I'm going to get my, boy, this pen's is really, there we go. This is my slope. And I'll represent that by m. And I'll write it in fraction form. So I'll put a negative 4 over 1. Okay. Now the slope is a change in y over change in x. So if the number up on top is positive, it's going up. If it's negative, it's going down. So this is a negative 4, so this is going to be down 4. Now the number that's down on the bottom is going to go left or right, and if it's positive, it'll go right, and if it's negative, it's going to go left. So this is a positive 1. So this is going to go right 1. Okay, and again, if you have it in slope-intercept form, your number at the end is your y-intercept. So they're telling us our y-intercept is 2. Okay, so let's come over here. And, okay, so let me do my line tool. And I'm going to click on large graph since I can't see very well. Okay, we said our y-intercept was 2. So I come here. I put a line, or put a point at 2. Okay, from there we're going to go down 4, right 1. So down 4, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and right 1. And that's where our second point goes. So from the y-intercept, I went down 4 units, right 1 unit. And I click Save, and I'll click Next question. Okay, graph the linear equation by a method. Well, this is online, so it's not like I'm looking at any kind of work here. It's already in a perfect form again. So again, if it's y is by itself, then that's slope-intercept form. The numbers before our x is going to be our slope. I want to write it in fraction form. So if it's not already in fraction form, you can always put it over 1. Okay, number up on top is a change in y. It's a positive 2, which means we're going to go up 2. Number on the bottom is a positive 1, which means we'll go right 1. Again, if this was a negative 2, we would have went down 2. If this was a negative 1, we went left 1. The number at the end is our y-intercept. So our y-intercept is negative 1. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, choose the line tool. What did I say the y-intercept was? Negative 1, no memory. So I'll put a point there. And then from there I go up 2, right 1. So up 2, right 1. That's where we put our second point. And then click Save. And next question. Find the intercepts of the equation. Okay, so we got 5x plus 3y is equal to negative 45. Okay, to find our x-intercepts, you always plug 0 into the other variable. So if we're finding the x-intercepts, we're going to plug 0 in for y. So we got 5x plus 3 times 0 is equal to negative 45. 3 times 0 drops away, and we got 5x is equal to negative 45. Divide both sides by 5. And we get x is equal to negative 9. So this x-intercept will be negative 9, comma 0. It's always comma 0 for the x-intercept. Now our y-intercept. Again, you always plug 0 into the other variable, so we're finding the y-intercept, so we'll plug 0 in for x. So I got 5 times 0 plus 3y is equal to negative 45. 5 times 0 drops away. We got 3y is equal to negative 45. Divide both sides by 3. And we get y is equal to negative 15. So this point will be 0, negative 15. Okay, what are the intercepts? Type an ordered pair, use a comma to separate the answers. So negative 9, 0, negative 9, 0, comma, and 0, negative 15. There we go. And next question. Okay, find the intercepts of the equation. And so we're going to have x over 8 plus y over 3 is equal to 1. And, okay. To find the x-intercept, again, you always plug 0 into the other variable, so plug 0 in for y. So we got x over 8 plus 0 over 3 is equal to 1. X over 8 is equal to 1. Now to solve for x here, we're going to multiply both sides by 8. So we've got 8 times x over 8 and 8 times 1, which gives us x equals 8. So this point will be 8, 0. Now for our y-intercept. Again, you always plug 0 into the other variable, so plug 0 in for x. So 0 over 8 plus y over 3 is equal to 1. 0 over 8 drops away, so we've got y over 3 is equal to 1. And you want to get rid of the fraction, so we'll multiply both sides by 3 again, like we did over there. But that was 8, of course. And so we get y is equal to 3. So this point would be 0, 3. So 8, 0, 0, 3. And next question. Okay, find and interpret the slope of the line passes through those points. Let me start a new page here. Okay, so negative 4, negative 7, and 3, negative 35. Now let's label these. This is my first point, so I'll label this as x1, y1. This is my second point, so I'll label this as x2, y2. And the first instructions are saying to find the slope. So slope is given by this formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's usually a good idea, unless you don't ever mess up on signs, to go through and replace your variables with parentheses before you plug in your numbers. Okay, we said y2 was negative 35. We said y1 is negative 7. We said x2 is 3 and x1 is negative 4. Well, a negative negative becomes positive, so we got negative 35 plus 7. Same down here, so we got 3 plus 4. And what's that give us? Negative 28 over 7, which is m is equal to negative 4. Okay, negative 4. Interpret the slope of the graph. Okay, for every unit of increase in x, y will increase by 4 units. Well, it's best to think of it in fraction form, so it's negative 4 over 1. So this says that our y values are decreasing by 4, and here our x values are increasing by 1. So let's see which one that matches. Okay, for every unit decrease, y will decrease. There, that's it. For every x is increasing by 1, y is decreasing by 4. For every unit, y will decrease by 4. Okay, that's it. And let's go to the next question. Okay, same instructions. So we got negative 7, 2. And we got negative 4, 1. I want to label these. This is my first point, so I'll label this as x1, y1. This is my second point, so I'll label that as x2, y2. And our formula, again, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, it's a good idea to go through, put parentheses in before you plug in your numbers. Okay, we said y2 was 1, y1 is 2, x2 is -4, and x1 is -7. So we got 1 minus 2, which is -1, over -4, and a negative negative becomes a positive. So that gives us -1 over 3. Okay, so I'm going to click this, and let me do the fraction tool. I guess not. Oops, there it is. What did I say? -1 over 3? Yeah. Now, keep in mind, this is a change in y. So it's saying y is decreasing by 1, and this is say x is increasing by 3. So let's see which one that matches. Y is decreasing by 1. Y decrease for every 3 units of increase in x. Okay, I'll get there eventually. There we go. X increased by 3, y will decrease by 1. And let's click next question. Now this one wants us to find the equation of the line. So let's find that. And we have our 3 steps we're going to go through on that. But let's see. We got -7, 4, and 3, -4. First step is find m. Well, we're going to use our formula. M is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's label these. This is my x1, this is my y1, this is my x2, and this is my y2. We'll go through and replace our variables with sets of parentheses before we plug in our numbers. Okay, y2 we said was -4, y1 is 4. x2 is 3, and x1 is -7. So we got -4, -4 is -8, and negative negative becomes positive. So we got 3 plus 7, which gives us -8/10, and that reduces. Top and bottom both divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so we got -4 over 10 divided by 2, which is 5, and that's our m. Step 2. We want to plug in the m from step 1, which we said was -4/5, and a given point for x and y. Now we're given 2 points. You pick whichever one looks easier to you. I'll pick this first one. Plug that in for x, plug that in for y. So y is 4, and x is -7. Well, -4 times -7 is 28 over 5 plus b. I'm solving for b, so I'm going to take the negative, or the 28/5 over, becomes a -28/5. Goes b. Now this is a mixed number. With mixed numbers, the 5 stays as is, the denominator. We're going to take the number to the side, we're going to multiply it times the denominator. So I'll take 4 times 5, which is 20, and then I'll add the number up on top, which is a -28. And that's going to give us a -8. So again, take the number out in front, multiply it times the denominator. 4 times 5 is 20, and add the -28, which gives us -8. Now, if you have a negative in front of a fraction, it has to go up on top. You can't put it down with a 5. Step 3, write our answer down. So we're going to plug in m from step 1, which is -4/5. And we'll plug in b from step 2, which is -8/5. And that's going to give us our answer. Let's see. Y is equal to -4/5 x minus 8/5. And I click next question. Okay, same instructions. So I'm going to go through the same 3 steps. See, -5, -11, and 1, 7. Okay, step 1, find m. And again, we're given this formula, m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now we want to label these. So this will be x1, y1. This is x2, y2. Again, it's a good idea to go through and put parentheses in everywhere you have a variable before you plug in your numbers. Well, we said y2 was 7. y1 is negative 11. X2 is 1, and x1 is negative 5. Well, negative negative becomes positive, so we got 7 plus 11. And down here, same thing. Negative negative becomes positive, so we got 1 plus 5. Which gives us 18 over 6, which gives us 3. Okay, step 2. Plug in your b from step 1, which is 3. And then plug in your given point for x and y. I'll pick the second one because it doesn't have any negatives. Both will give you the same answer. So I'll plug this in for x, plug this in for y. So we got 7 here and 1 here. And then solve for b. 3 times 1 is 3 plus b. Take 3 over the left side, becomes a negative 3. And you get b is equal to 4. Step 3. Plug in m from step 1, which is 3. Plug in b from step 2, which is 4. And y is equal to 3x plus 4 is our answer. And next question. Okay, this is parallel. So let me start a new page. Okay, so passes through the point, negative 20, negative 9. And it's parallel. I don't know what in the world that was. Parallel to 6x minus 5y is equal to negative 7. Okay. First step is to find m. First sub-step within that, this is the instructions whenever you're given a point, not a parallel line, is you write the given line in slope-intercept form. Now what that means is we solve for y. So you want to get y by itself. I'm going to take this negative 5y to the right side and take this negative 7 to the left side. Remember, when you take anything across your equals, your sign changes. So negative 7 becomes a positive 7, and the negative 5y becomes a positive 5y. Then we're going to divide everything by 5 in order to get the y by itself. That's slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form says you get y by itself. Okay, so we've got 6/5 x plus 7/5 is equal to y. Now our second sub-step says to identify the slope. The reason why we put it in slope-intercept form is so we can easily identify the slope. Slope-intercept form is, again, when you got y by itself, and when you do, then the slope is whatever's before your x. So slope is 6/5. Now our third sub-step says parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, we said it's parallel to this line. We said the slope of that line is 6/5, and parallel lines have the same slope, so m we're looking for will be 6/5. Okay, step 2. Plug in m, which we just said was 6/5, and a given point for x and y. Remember, if they give you a point, they're giving you a specific instance of x and y. So plug negative 9 in for y, negative 20 in for x. Well, 5 and 20, 5 divided by 5 is 1. Negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4 plus b. Okay, 6 times negative 4 is negative 24 plus b. Take negative 24 to the left side, becomes a positive 24, which gives us, what is that, 15 equals b. Okay, step 3 is write your answer down. So plug in m from step 1, which is 6/5. Plug in b from step 2, which is 15. And that's our answer. Okay, y is equal to 6/5 x plus 15. Next question. Perpendicular. Okay. Same line. 6x minus 5y equals negative 7. Doesn't matter. I'll pretend it's not. Okay. So this one passes through the point negative 12, negative 8. And it's perpendicular, they tell us, to 6x minus 5y equals negative 7. Okay. These are our steps for finding a equation line given a point and a perpendicular line. First step is find m. First substep says to write the given line in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form says to get y by itself. So I'm going to take this negative 5y over to the right side and negative 7 over the left. This helps get rid of some of our negatives. So negative 7 becomes a positive 7. The negative 5y becomes a positive 5y. Divide both sides by a number in front of your y, which is 5. So we've got 6/5 x plus 7/5 is equal to 5/5 y, which gives us 6/5 x plus 7/5 equals y. And that's in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is you got y by itself. Now our second substep is to identify our slope. If you got it in slope-intercept form, your slope is whatever number's in front of your x, which is 6/5. Okay. Our third substep, perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals. So we're going to start with the slope from 1b, which is 6/5. We're going to write it in fraction form. Now this one's already in fraction form, so we didn't have to do anything. But imagine if you had like number 5. You'd have to put 5 over 1. You can always create a fraction by putting it over 1. Then we're going to flip it. So this becomes 5/6. That's a reciprocal part. Reciprocal means fraction flipped. And then we're going to change its sign. So it goes from a positive 5/6 to a negative 5/6. So negative reciprocal. Flip the fraction, change the sign. So the m we're trying to find will be negative 5/6. Okay, step 2. Plug in the b, or m, we just found from 1c, which is negative 5/6. And plug in the given point for x and y. Again, they're giving you a specific instance, so this is x and this is y. So put negative 8 there, negative 12 here, and then solve for b. Well, 6 and negative 12 both divided by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. Negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. Plus b. Negative 5 times negative 2 is 10 plus b. Take the 10 over, it becomes a negative 10. And we get b is equal to negative 18. Step 3. Plug in m from step 1, which is negative 5/6. Plug in b from step 2, which is negative 18. And that's our answer. Y is equal to negative 5/6x minus 18. X minus 18. And let's submit tests. See how many I missed. 100%. I must have got lucky again. Okay. Anyway, that's the review for the chapter 3 test.